Greetings and welcome to Cooking with Cindy. My name is Cindy Lorimer, and today I'm going to show you how to make Kung Pao chicken. It takes less than 30 minutes to make. It makes for a perfect weeknight dinner. I use chicken breasts. We love white meat here in our family. So 3 pounds of chicken breast, and I love having my protein with some kind of vegetables. So in my Kung Pao chicken, I'm gonna use 2 cups of zucchini and everything else, your usual red bell pepper, onions, peanuts, etc. So let's begin. I always like to do a mise en place for all of my recipes just so that it guarantees that I don't forget any of the ingredients because I have a habit of doing that. So let's start off with our red bell pepper. You're gonna need 4 of these, and you're gonna wanna cut all of these into 1-inch pieces just so that they can all cook more or less at the same time. And you want to cut these into 1-inch pieces, as I mentioned before, but you want to remove the seeds here. And I find it's easiest when you're cutting bell peppers to always use the pointy part of the knife and just go down like this when you're slicing them. I like to use red bell pepper in this recipe only because it gives it a nice vibrant color, but you can use yellow, orange, green, it doesn't really matter. Now we cut the onions, and again, you want to cut this into 1-inch pieces so it gives it a nice crunch as you're eating your Kung Pao. And you just want to cut off the ends here, the root part of it, just so that they can separate once you cut the onion pieces. Just putting everything on a plate here. So my green onions, these are green onions that I actually grow in my garden, so I just harvested them. That's why they're all funky in shapes and sizes, because it's homegrown. Okay, so for this, I only want the white part of the green onions, and then the green part, I'm just gonna chop it up and use it as a garnish. So with the white part, you just wanna cut it into 1-inch pieces, like so. This will be the garnish, so I'm just gonna these are very thick green onions. 6 cloves of garlic that you're gonna just chop up. And now we want 2 cups of the zucchini. So you're gonna cut off the ends. And again, cut these into 1-inch pieces. And you can keep the seeds. Okay. And then a tablespoon of ginger that you're gonna wanna chop. This is the lazy way of peeling. So we want heat in our Kung Pao chicken. Obviously, if you can't handle heat, you can forgo the Thai chili peppers, but I love them in my Kung Pao chicken. I feel like it needs that extra kick and spice. So I'm going to chop this up. I'm going to slice it like so instead of chopping it up. Now, every chili is going to be different. Some chilies are going to be spicier than others. It's just a surprise every time. Okay, so now it's time to cut up the chicken. So for the chicken, I want to do 1-inch pieces. So it's all uniformed for all of the ingredients. Chicken breast. There you go. So the last part of the prepping is the Szechuan peppers. These are Szechuan peppercorns. I'm going to show you here. These are the Szechuan peppercorns. I'm only going to use a teaspoon of them. Now, it's up to you if you want to use more. Szechuan peppercorns is a signature flavor for this recipe for Kung Pao chicken. I'm not a big fan, or at least I don't like it in large quantities, so I'm only using a teaspoon. You guys can use more if you want, but you just want to crush them. That's good enough. Okay, we are now ready to go to the stovetop and start frying this all up. So I'm putting a little bit of a Vietnamese spin on this Kung Pao chicken recipe because I'm gonna make a caramel sauce with sugar and fish sauce. Now you saw that I didn't really marinate the chicken because I'm doing the caramel chicken here. So what we do is we always do equal parts of sugar and equal parts. You can either do water or you can do cooking oil to make your caramel sauce. But because I didn't marinate my chicken, I'm gonna go ahead and use fish sauce to make my caramel sauce. So you want a 1/4 cup. I'm gonna turn the heat down because I had it on to talk to you guys. And then a 1/4 cup of fish sauce. Ooh, see how that bubbles? You wanna have it where it's like turns into an amber color. My pan was a little bit hot, so it kind of shocked it. And then add the chicken in here. Turn the heat back up. And I just want to coat it all. Normally it doesn't take this fast to make the caramel sauce, but it's because my pan was already really hot. That's why it was a matter of seconds. So you see that I'm using a rubber spatula for this only because sometimes caramel sauce can stick to your spoon. Turn the heat up on high and then just mix it all together so that it's evenly coated, right? Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a single layer and then I'm gonna let it cook untouched for 3 minutes because what I wanna do is I wanna brown my chicken. I don't want to steam my chicken, I want to brown my chicken. 3 minutes is up. You can see here it's caramelizing. So I'm just going to, see, you have to have the heat on high, not even medium high. And then I'm going to give it a toss. So the interesting thing is, I don't know why my chicken has so much water. So it usually works for 3 minutes on each side and it browns, but there must be a lot of water in this chicken. So it's, as you can see here, the water is not lessening. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cook it a little bit more because I want that browning effect. Also, you'll see a lot of Kung Pao chicken, they do it in a wok. The only reason why I didn't do mine in a wok is because I find, because a wok, or at least my wok, has a small surface area because it's the base there is like this big. So what ends up happening is unless you have it on super high heat, it ends up steaming a lot of stuff, and I want it to be nice and brown. And I love cooking with a cast iron pan, so that's why I'm doing this. I think it's lessening a little bit, or at least the flavor is gonna be amazing. Yeah, so weird. Here, let's just give it a toss. Oh, there you go. Oh, Finally, it's finally browning. So maybe if you feel like your chicken isn't browning that much, then instead of 3 minutes on each side, let's do 5 minutes on each side, you know? Just try not to fiddle with it. With cooking, you have to just be creative a little bit. If it's not going exactly right, you just need to tweak it a little bit because everyone's temperature is going to be different. Everyone's cooking pan is going to be different with surface area, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to just go with the flow and accommodate. So anywho, let's take a look at this. So you want it to not be so liquidy, right? So let's give this a toss. See how it has this nice caramel brown to it? That's what I want, and that's what I was looking for. And I couldn't achieve that in the 3 minutes per side, so I went with 5 minutes per side, or I just basically added an additional 4 minutes. Okay, so let's remove this, and let's put it back in the plate. Look at how beautiful that color is. Ooh la la! Ooh la la! So happy. And it's gonna taste delicious. Oops, oops. Chicken flying everywhere. So in the same skillet, I gotta act quickly here. I'm gonna do a 1/4 cup of cooking oil. I use avocado oil. And then let's do a tablespoon of sesame oil just to give it a nice flavor. And then let's add all of our aromatics. Now my heat is still on high. And let's scrape everything to get all the yumminess from the pan. If only you guys can smell this right now. It smells so good. But look, you want to get all the bits here. See? This is where all the flavor is. On the side, on the bottom of the pan, etc. Gonna add the zucchini in here. Okay. Now we add the chili peppers, the crushed Szechuan peppercorns. We're gonna do 1/2 cup of peanuts in there. 1/2 cup of dried chili peppers. Give it a toss. See, this is why I like to use a cast iron pan, because look at it, it's so nice and it browns everything nicely. Okay, now we do our sauces. You want a tablespoon of hoisin sauce. I love this brand. So when I'm doing this, what I like to do is I like to add it to the side of the pan because then it caramelizes and cooks that sauce nicely. I do the same with everything else. So rice vinegar. So I'm gonna drizzle it on the side for it to cook it. 2 tablespoons of Shaoxing rice wine. Okay. 1/3 cup of mushroom powder. And then let's toss this. Yum! And then let's throw the chicken in here. And if there's any juice in the chicken, make sure you include it. My cast iron pan is overflowing. Okay. I was gonna say, can you smell that? And then I realized, oh, wait a minute. I'm on camera, they can't smell anything. But what I was gonna say is, if you were here and you can smell it, it really smells like Kung Pao chicken now. Give it a good toss. Uh-oh. Cook this for another 5 minutes. I'm gonna turn the heat down to medium and just let it cook. Okay, 5 minutes. So depending on your surface area, so I'm using the cast iron pan, so I don't have that much sauce. So I'm not gonna use a thickener because I would only use a thickener if there's a lot of sauce. One time when I was making the Kung Pao chicken in a wok, it had a lot of juice and it had a lot of liquid, so I used a thickener for that. So in my recipe, yes, it does say a thickener, but you don't necessarily have to use it. So you have to just see how much sauce you have. So if you look here, I'm gonna show you. See how mine, I don't have that much sauce. The sauce is just heavily coated on the chicken and all the other ingredients, which is what I want, right? But sometimes I have too much water, again, because I was using a wok or I was using a different pan. So you have to just figure it out as you go. Okay, this puppy's ready. I want you to zoom in on this. Gosh, look at that. Put this over, like so. Let's do a taste test. Oh, look at that. I'm literally, my mouth is watering. Okay. And then I like to have extra peanuts because I like that extra crunch. So I'm just gonna sprinkle it on top. Sprinkle a little bit more of this. There you go. That is so extra extraordinary. In less than 30 minutes, and you have this beautiful creation. I love it. I hope you try it and tell me what you think. Bye.